On the Fringe with Dan RadioStyle. Hope everybody out there's having themselves a great day. John Thune's done it. He's done some amazing work. And we're going to talk a little bit about the healthcare thing. There was a brilliant idea that's been put forward. Trump kind of started it. Someone actually really baked in some of the true facts around it. And unfortunately, I was not able to record it. Got weird when I tried, and it was just a bigger pain in the butt to try to find the video. I was just, busy listening to the senators talk. And it just extended over the day, by the way. They'd just leave the microphone open, and 20 minutes later, someone would walk up, Mr. President. So, anyways, it was a pretty fantastic showing. Democrats are pissed. They didn't get anything really at all. The concessions that were made were, minuscule. Minuscule at best. That said, we got a lot to talk about. Probably shorter show today. We'll see. Certainly trying to get myself back to good. It's been an interesting week. And looking back, I think there was like 2 days, I think, where I wasn't taking the Ivers. I was the parasite stuff. I think I don't know. It's just strange. The hydroxychloroquine made a big difference, but I definitely got a little bit of an infection in the chest and just haven't had a chance to go see a doctor. I don't think I could get the contagion kit quick enough. Frankly, if I would have had one of those, I would have been better off. We'll talk about that later, but oh well. Difference between us and them. That's pretty wide open. Here is us. And this is beautiful. This is Erica Kirk's two kids, Charlie Kirk's two kids. And Charlie Kirk, I guess, used to sing this particular song to the youngest to put him to bed. And I just thought this was adorable. Wanted to start here. That's just adorable. Just adorable. I don't even have kids, and I think that's a beautiful thing. All right, and this is them. And, some are going to say this is hyperbolic. I'm going to say, no, this is literally how they think. It's an interesting difference.
Take a look at this video.
How are you doing?
What happened to my Wi-Fi?
Oh, here it comes. Oh.
What's wrong with your Wi-Fi?
I don't have a Wi-Fi. I've been using yours, and now you cannot stop me. I've been using it for 6 months, okay? Now you can't be selfish and stop me from using it.
What the fuck?
You serious?
I don't stop you using the Wi-Fi.
Oh, yes, you do, because now I cannot get connection to the Wi-Fi. They ask me
Because
for
I
the
put
code.
the password on the Wi-Fi. Because
Why
I
don't
put
you,
the Wi-Fi
okay,
the
then
password.
Okay, then give me the code number, the code of the Wi-Fi so they
But
can
why?
be connected.
But hold a minute. Please relax. Why am I going to give
Sorry?
you the password to relax? Why
I can't hear you.
I said relax.
Relax. What do you mean relax?
Relax. Why am I going to give you the password to my Wi-Fi?
Oh, because I said so. I'm your neighbor. I
But
don't
this
have
is my
money to
Wi-Fi.
pay
This
for
is
the
my
Wi-Fi.
I don't need to give you
because
the password. This is my Wi-Fi.
Yeah, okay, but I've been using it 6 months. You didn't say anything. Now you cannot stop me.
Thank you.
You're using this
You
for
can't
6
stop.
months, 7 months, 8 months. That is fine. You're no longer
Yeah.
using it.
Now give me. Now look, Mosh. Now you're gonna give me
No.
the code.
You listen to me, Habibti. Yeah. You listen. You don't have Wi-Fi now. You do not have it.
No, I don't.
خلاص,
Now I
finish.
don't have.
You don't. Congratulations. You do not have it. You understanding? You
No.
understanding? Yes.
You can't block me. I'm sorry. You cannot block me after 7 months.
But I don't
After
block you
7
for
months,
anything.
I'm
I put
using-
the password
And
on
why
my
do you
Wi-Fi.
care?
I put
You
the
pay-
Wi-Fi. I put the password on my Wi-Fi.
But look, Mosh, you're
Are you delusional? Do you suffer from a mental illness?
paying anyway. So why do you care that I use it as well? Huh?
Because it is slowing down my own Wi-Fi. Why do you want to use
Yeah, but-
Wi-Fi? Why do you want to use Wi-Fi?
Because I don't want to pay for mine. I can use yours. For yours is for
But-
free.
The hell did you just say?
But it doesn't. I pay for it. I pay for my own Wi-Fi. I pay for it.
Okay, good. No pay it, so I can use it as well.
But why will I pay for you to use it when it is my Wi-Fi?
Why do you ask so many questions? Just let me use
Because
your
why are you
Wi-Fi.
asking too many
That's the
questions?
story.
You asking questions for password. It is like me asking you for credit card, the PIN for your card.
Look, you're talking so much. You're talking too much.
No, but
And
you're
you don't
speaking
have
too
to
much.
talk
You're
too much.
speaking too much.
All what you have to do, give me the name of your Wi-Fi, and I use it, and that's the end of story. Okay?
But I'm not going to give you password. It is not possible. It's not
Yeah,
possible.
because you are stingy. You're stingy, and you don't want to
I'm not
help an old
stingy.
woman.
I'm confusing here because you're using my own Wi-Fi. I don't even know about this, and I put password on my Wi-Fi. So you're coming
but
to me
why
because
do you
I put
care?
password on.
But why do you care? You
This is how they think. I've been doing this all this time. You must let me continue to do it. And we're like, no, in fact, that's a horrible idea. I get there's a problem, and we're going to get into how many people are going to lose their health care, supposedly. I think a huge part of that number, by the way, is people that aren't even legally here, but we'll cross that bridge in a moment. Trump announces $2,000 tariff dividend to be paid to most Americans. We talked about this yesterday. We've gotten a little bit more specifics on it. I don't think it's necessarily in this particular story. But it was cool. Yeah, a little bit here. He hints, Scott Bessent hints at kind of how this could play out.
It could, the $2,000 dividend could come in lots of forms, in lots of ways, George. It could be just the tax decreases that we are seeing on the president's agenda. No tax on tips, no tax on overtime, no tax on Social Security, deductibility of auto loans. So, those are substantial deductions that, are being financed in the tax bill.
So understand the dividend's not necessarily going to come as cash, as a check. And let me kind of quickly explain why. If Trump did do that, that would actually affect inflation. Yeah, that's the thing. You give out money, you give out government money, you cause inflation. Now, $2,000 isn't a lot, probably would have been negligible at best, but it does cause inflation, especially when you give out however much that would be for however many millions of people would end up with $2,000. Probably be a lot of money in the big picture. We'd see, But, you could get a tax break. You could get a number of ways that they can play that out for us. So we'll probably see how it works to that effect. Luxury cars and mileage result in big costs for taxpayers. It's just kind of another one of those crazy things, right? We got all these reps that close down the government, all because they're looking out for you guys, even though they're, looking out for us, right? They're leveraging the hungry. They're leveraging the poor and then trying to blame Trump for it. Just because he wouldn't allow them to give health care to illegal immigrants, allow the continued waste on Obamacare, the waste in that they give the money to insurance companies versus the patient themselves. So on top of all that, the maximum allowance apparently is $1,000 a month for these guys driving company cars. So many of them are actually leasing like really nice Lexuses and stuff like that. Paying $1,000 a month, you are, so they can drive around in their Lexus. Now, here's the other funny part. It's a company car, and on top of that, they still get mileage. They get to, quote, get mileage. Now, any place I've ever been where I've gotten to write off get mileage, get paid for miles, is because I'm using my car. It's wear and tear on my vehicle. So it's like, we're forcing you by work to go do this, so we'll give you mileage to help pay for that wear and tear on your car or to essentially help buy a car for you. Never in my life have I ever seen someone that had a company car, not theirs at all. Doesn't matter. You drive it you drive to the moon and back. It doesn't freaking matter. And then on top of that, you're going to get paid mileage? What? So they're getting paid mileage. At least a bunch of them have recorded huge amounts of mileage, $131,000 personal car mileage since 2019. $131,000 in mileage. And I get they drive all over the place in a car that's not theirs. What's up with that? There was a dude that had a plane. He had an airplane, his own personal plane. And he was doing mileage and expensing the airplane. And which cost way more than a car. For some reason, there's a distinction. If you've got an airplane, then, we'll pay 3 times what the car salary is because you got an airplane. Those aren't cheap. That's insanity. So again, these guys are blowing our money everywhere, and then they shut down the government to starve people so they can try to get health care to illegal immigrants. Yeah, they're a delicious batch of people in Congress, they are. And again, a bunch of rhinos have been doing this too. This is not just one side. No, both sides are doing this. Both sides are wasting gobs of money. It's disgusting. I mean, we don't. Ted Cruz was called out on that particular article, which I thought was kind of funny. So the 22 million people, the reason I call it that, and we're going to get into the idea really quickly, and then we'll kind of burn through this. Hopefully it kind of makes more sense, I think, if I feed the idea first. I think, because I thought it was a beautiful idea. So Trump had talked about giving the money to the people instead of the insurance companies. What we're aware of is the insurance companies were getting direct payments from the government, and because of that, they were jacking up the rates for everybody. It was just getting more and more and more expensive, and it's crazy. So with an insurance company too, by the way, you've got to hit that deductible, right? And then maybe you've got a $5,000 deductible. You got an MRI, it's only $2,000, and you kind of trip. Hey, so I have to pay the full $2,000, and I still owe $3,000 to even get to my deductible. Or, and a lot of people don't know this, or you can ask, what's the cash price? In a lot of cases, like an MRI, cash price might be something like $800, literally. So you just say, do you have a cash price? And they'll be like, oh yeah, it's a totally different price. Here it is. So when you're paying the deductible, it's a $2,000 thing. When you're paying cash, it's $800. So what one of the senators was talking about was given an FSA card or even an HSA, but he was talking specifically about FSA, Flex Spending Account, and loading that up with the government money, and then letting you go find the doctor of your choice and use your FSA card. Now, in my opinion, the FSA card should be treated as cash. It should not be treated as insurance because then the doctors will charge you more. It should be cash. That should be money that you can use for the dentist, for prescriptions, for doctor visits, for MRIs, all that stuff. Now, if you blow through your account and you've gone through all the money that they're giving, I don't know, maybe there's some other thing that happens, or it starts to come out of your own pocket at that point. But it would be a way to get around a lot of the waste. First off, the insurance companies their stocks went through the roof. Second off, as the guy brought up like 5 times, but it's a good point. That's why I kept bringing it up. Insurance companies, 20% of all the money they get goes to profits and overhead. Profits and essentially paying for the buildings, paying for people, that kind of stuff. So 20% right off the top goes to stuff that doesn't affect your health care at all. The FSA account, 100% of the dollars go to you, the person. 100%. There's no profit off the top, and then you can shop around to find the best people or go to the doctor of your choice or whatever. In fact, my dentist has a weird set of benefits that they've given me because I don't have benefits really anymore. I certainly can't afford the stupid Obamacare stuff, so I don't even bother. I'm just better off to die. But the idea of the dentist is that, I pay, I forget what it was, like $180 or something like that. And then they still give me my discount for my cleaning, which I think is $130. And I go 4 times a year. I get my teeth cleaned 4 times a year. I'm very crazy about it. But the health of your mouth actually matters probably the most for your body and your heart than you ever would realize. So dentist to me is a very big deal. And it's through their own private company that they're offering this, quote, benefit. So it's through my doctor that I'm getting the benefits. And so I pay them directly. I receive the benefits directly. And it's helping them. It's helping me. Well, it's mostly helping them. And it's keeping my prices basically normal, which is nice. That is not what the Dems have been going for, have they? No, they want to continue to give money to the insurance companies because that's what Obamacare was all about. But Obamacare is a giant failure, and I think a lot of people are realizing that. And knowing that you're losing 20% off the top no matter what, that's just bad expenditure of money, period. And maybe a lot of insurance companies will be like, we're going to go out of business. And it's like, well, you guys are kind of dicks. You cause everything to go way up in price. So, okay, bummer. Sucks. Maybe we don't really need it. Maybe this is kind of closer way to get the universal health care that we keep pushing for rather than trying to have some sort of stupid government-funded thing. So, yeah, everybody's pissed off at Schumer, by the way. Everybody's pissed off at Schumer. This guy has got zero political future now, which many would find fun. And if they ever get a chance to vote to kick his ass out as the minority leader, nobody wants to support him at this point. Nobody. In fact, he's pissed off at the 8 people that crossed the line, even though he most likely had something to do with it. The 8 people are people that are coming up in elections soon or are retiring. So these were the ones that are like, yeah, we'll cross the line because we got elections coming up and it's going to matter. Now, Bernie Sanders, of course, is stand up to Trumpism. Attacks 8 Senate Democrats who voted to end the shutdown. I don't want to play it because I guess I can.
Tonight, 8 Democrats voted with the Republicans to allow them to go forward on this continuing resolution. And to my mind, this was a very, very bad vote. What it does, first of all, is it raises healthcare premiums for over 20 million Americans by doubling, and in some cases tripling or quadrupling. People can't afford that when we're already paying the highest prices in the world for healthcare. Number 2, it paves the way for 15 million people to be thrown off of Medicaid and the Affordable Care Act. Studies show that will mean that some 50,000 Americans will die every year unnecessarily. And all of that was done to give $1 trillion in tax breaks to the 1%. As everybody knows, just on Tuesday, we had an election.
Good God. Everything he's saying is an absolute total lie. I can't play any more of that. That's everything he said was an absolute lie. First off, the numbers he's talking about are people that are illegal to a large extent. Second off, these people that are going to have their benefits double, triple, and quadruple. Again, what's funny is the Democrats keep wanting to double down on the thing that doesn't work, right? It doesn't work to just give money to these companies. And so they're like, we need to subsidize them more. Well, it doesn't work. It's not working. It's obviously shown. There's graphs. You just look at the numbers. It's caused healthcare to go extremely expensive. So throwing more money into the pockets of those, and again, these guys, the lobby, one of the biggest lobbies out there right now is the healthcare lobby, especially the insurance lobby specifically. I'm sure he's getting insurance money. And then again, how many people are going to lose their benefits that, like he's saying, being cut off of Medicaid and Medicare? How many people are going to lose their benefits that aren't actually legally here? Again, sorry, but you don't necessarily get the freebies if you didn't put in the time. And if you put in the time, you should have a legit Social Security number one way or another, right? And pay into that. Then at least we know. Now, Dick Durbin, he calls it out. He calls a spade here. And he said he wasn't going to support it. I think he was one of the people that was that crossed the aisle. And he basically calls out his side. Good for him.
After lengthy negotiations, an agreement was reached with the Republican Senate leader, John Thune. We will agree to open the government until January 30th, 2026. During that time, we will pass 3 bipartisan appropriation bills that will fully fund SNAP, WIC, and all the veterans programs, and finish our work on the remaining spending bills for this fiscal year. The agreement would also reverse the Trump administration's mass firings during the shutdown and prevent future ones through January 30th. We credit Senator Kaine of Virginia for this provision. Leader Thune has also promised the Democrats an opportunity before mid-December to present a Democratic bill on the floor with proposals to change the law and protect American families from dramatic health care premium increases. It is my fervent hope that this ends up being a bipartisan effort. It would be such an achievement of the Senate to finally return to that status. I've served in the Senate for 29 years, and I've never seen that kind of offer from a Senate majority. During the historic roll call last night, I walked across the aisle and met with Senator John Thune, the Republican leader. I told him that I was counting on him to keep his word on this agreement. He assured me he would. The fate of this effort depends on both the Senate and the House of Representatives. After a 7-week absence, the Speaker Johnson needs to call his members back and join us in the hard work that lies ahead. Many of my friends are unhappy. They think we should have kept our government closed indefinitely to protest the policies of the Trump administration. I share their opinions of this administration, but cannot accept a strategy which wages political battle at the expense of my neighbor's paycheck or the food for his children. Mr. President, I yield the floor.
So again, Durbin coming across the aisle the way he did, it's pretty cool, and is doing the right thing. And we will see how this plays out. I think Thune will keep his word. Now, again, one thing that's funny, and this guy's calling him out on it, Rand Paul. I think he might have been the one vote that was against, or if not, was going to vote no. But he had an issue with this no hemp clause or something stupid. Literally, he was willing to vote no on opening the government back up over hemp. Dude, Rand Paul has lost his freaking ever-loving mind.
Breaking news, but according to Politico, asked whether he'd slow walk final passage, Schumer said, quote, "Ask Rand Paul." What more can you tell us?
Well, Rand Paul, historically sometimes has made the Senate run a lot of the traps or burn some extra time here. There seems to be a provision in this bill dealing with hemp that we don't know where Rand Paul would stand on that. I had asked one senior Republican source earlier today about whether or not they thought they would have Rand Paul on board. They were not quite sure. There was another Republican senator who thought he would be on board. And that's why that's so important, because if you don't have Rand Paul, you go from 53 Republican yeas to 52, and that means you need 8 Democrats. So, Chuck Schumer's kind of punting there in that sense. Now, you said it's not necessarily a news flash that Chuck Schumer is going to vote against this bill. Well, again, that's kind of the problem that Chuck Schumer has had, because remember back in March last year, or this year, I should say, he provided the votes. He got in front of his caucus, at least some of those Democrats, and helped provide the votes to make sure that the government did not shut down. So here in the fall, and this was the criticism leveled at him from Republicans, is that why did Chuck Schumer change his position? Because this is essentially the same plan as they approved back in March. What happens in leadership? Trent Lott, the Republican leader, said that you get barnacles on you. And so Chuck Schumer has these barnacles on him right now. And that's why it's such a tough call to decide where he was going to be. But we fully expected him to probably oppose this tonight.
Chuck Schumer doesn't have barnacles on him. Chuck Schumer is a barnacle on the United States. That's actually what's happening. Chuck Schumer's a freaking barnacle on the whole of this wonderful country. Scott Jennings says it perfectly. Yep, talking about the government shutdown and what it has exposed.
And I'll tell you one thing this has exposed, though, the complete and total failure of Obamacare. I mean, it's not affordable. No, people that have it don't feel like it even is real insurance. And now we see, it's a mess. And if anytime the government's having to subsidize something like this, it's not working in the first place. And so I think the American people are realizing just how messed up the American healthcare system is. And the regime under which we live is Obamacare. But look, I think a lot of Republicans do not want people to see skyrocketing premiums. And so we'll see what that debate looks like. This whole thing has exposed this outlandish money laundering scheme where your tax dollars go right into insurance companies, and your health insurance never gets better, your health care never gets better, your health outcomes never get better. That's what we have exposed here. So what our responsibility is as a Republican Party, how do we stop getting your tax money to insurance companies, and how do we put more actual money into the health care of the American people? Because I can assure you, writing a bunch of checks to insurance companies doesn't make your health care any better.
And how do you control people through healthcare, right? Because again, the big argument's going to be, and always will be, is if there's going to be free healthcare, which many people believe it's a right, which I don't think it's a right by any means, but whatever. That's a different debate for a different day. But if everybody gets guaranteed healthcare, then at what point do you start saying stuff like, well, you can't drink, or you can't smoke, or you can't eat McDonald's, or you can't eat fat fried foods, or potato chips, or soda? At what point do you say you can't do those things because it makes you unhealthy and it costs us more money? And then, of course, the funnest debate is what's the dollar amount for the maximum amount of extra days of life you're going to get that's worth it? And I don't mean to sound crass, but it's an important question. Let's say, for example, it's going to cost me $10 million to treat somebody for cancer. It's probably a huge number, but shit, the healthcare, the way it's going, maybe in a year or two, that's what it'll be. Shouldn't be, because things are supposed to be getting better, but let's just use crazy numbers. So 10 years, $10 million, it's like roughly $1 million a year. That's still expensive, but okay, we're going to buy you 10 years of life. Okay, that's an investment, right? What if $10 million only gets you 1 year? Well, shit, that's $10 million a year. And I'm buying you 1 more year. Okay, maybe. Man, that's getting expensive. What if it buys you 6 months? Now we're talking about $20 million a year. Or 3 months life. It's just going to prolong you a little bit or keep you hooked up to the machines a little longer, and you've got no quality of life. Where's that point where, I don't want to say it, but responsibility or something has to kick in? We're all going to go back to our creator at some point. This is a guarantee. Every single one of us will die. That's 100% guarantee. 0 people have gotten out of it, maybe with the exception of some very wonderfully placed, awesome people in the Bible. There's a number of people that never died. Like, I think there's 3 of them, right? Elijah and Enoch and Jesus, and right. So there's a few, right, that just got taken up. So what is that? What does that place look like? And that's the thing, is continuing to let the insurance companies control what quality of care you get, what level of care you get, whether you get care. They're even to the point now, and I'm hearing insurance companies, especially like Medicaid and stuff, they're not letting you necessarily get anesthesiologists on some surgeries. Or if the surgery goes past a certain point, then you've got to pay for the anesthesiologist for the additional time because it's not covered. And that's what they're doing. They're all about maximizing profits in the insurance company, not about providing max payment for the amount of money they're given. And on top of that, the 20% that they're keeping no matter what. That's not a way to move forward. And that's certainly a bad plan. Now, again, deep state, they keep saying the trillionaires that Trump is protecting. These guys are protecting these businesses, these oligarchs. They're doing the same thing. They're making their friends richer. All politicians do that. I don't think Trump is. I don't think the current administration's trying to. Will some of them make money just being famous because they were in the administration? Yeah, everybody does that. Everybody does that. And yeah, you probably should. You'd be like, yeah, I was in the Trump administration. You'd be like, dude, you want to come on my show? Yeah, I guess. So Senate eyes possibility today of passage of the shutdown bill. Johnson thinks the House has the votes. They did pass it last night as far as the 60 votes they needed. Johnson's hopeful he'll be able to pass it. I think he was saying something to the effect that he'll give people 36 hours. So there's no way that Trump's going to be signing this until Wednesday at the earliest. Now, Johnson does think he's got the votes. We'll see what crazy shit people like Marjorie Taylor Greene or Massey or some of the other numbnuts that are in there, we'll see what crazy shit they try to come up with. But ultimately, remember, and when it comes to the rippling, 20% of the insurance companies, the dude made the point 5 times for a very good reason. 20% profit and overhead, rents, shit like that. Profit and rent, or profit and leasing, or profit and owning buildings. I don't even think that counts salaries, but maybe. That might count salaries too. Still, only 80% is actually going towards healthcare. Now, again, they try desperately not to pay out whenever they can. You guys know that, or to pay out the least as possible. We've got a different price for insured people versus cash payers. That's significant. Why isn't that closer? Because doctors bill for weird extra stuff. Insurance companies pay some of it. And so there's this stupid game. The dentist was the worst for me, trying to get my dentist. Nothing, it never gets paid for. Like I had dental benefits, I paid for them. It was standard dental, or what was it, normal dental benefits. I forget the name of the company. It's almost been a year since I've been out. That's how quickly I forgot that shit. But it is Delta Dental, I think it was. So it's kind of stupid. Like, they never paid my cleanings. They were supposed to pay for 2 a year. They didn't. So we'll see what this looks like this week. I was just bringing up the United States has 342 million people. 22 million people are what they're concerned about. 22 million people are the reason we should continue to subsidize insurance companies. 22 million people versus 342 million people. That's not even 10%. It's not even 10%. It's like, what, 7%? Something like that? 22 million people. And we're going to let 7% of the population create or continue a super bad policy? That's stupid. Now, again, I love the idea of the FSA. Give the money straight to them. Take out that 20% right there. Just screw that. Sorry, insurance companies, you're done. We're not doing that anymore. We'll see. Treasury Secretary on Trump's $2,000 tariff dividends vow. It could just be a tax decrease. We kind of mentioned this earlier. Might be a decrease, might be whatever. There's a few different ways they could pull this off. So, Donald Trump truth this out. All money left over from the $2,000 payments made to low and middle income USA citizens from the massive tariff income pouring into the country from foreign countries, which will be substantial, will be used to substantially pay down national debt. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Now, he's been touting that he's going to make trillions of dollars. It will ultimately be that. I think they're thinking the max is going to be around $500 billion a year at some point once everything's properly paid and working. I think so far we've collected 200 and something billion. So it's moving in that direction. Stock market was happy. Dow was down a little bit today, but then it popped back up. Gold and silver, though, oh my God. Yeah, this is kind of how you know that we've got larger problems still at work. Silver's up $2.32 again. It's back over $50. Gold is up $111, back over $4,100. Amazing what a little news will make, especially with the government opening back up. But that means, obviously, value of the dollar went down because gold and silver have gone way up. See, when the government's open, the value of the dollar goes down. When the government gives out free money, the value of the dollar goes down. Tariffs, I don't think necessarily work that way because it's not us printing more dollars. It's us getting paid for our goods and services and then utilizing that money. And then, by the way, this is a fun little excuse or argument against the Supreme Court's tariffs thing about this being a money-making thing. If Trump doesn't do it to make money, per se, but does it, 1, to get fair treatment in trade, 2, to pay down the debt, and 3, to help alleviate the tax burden on regular Americans, then is he really doing it to make money? Making money would be like shoving it into the treasury and be like, haha, we made $1 trillion this year. Look at that. But if you're actually utilizing other tools and mechanisms in which that you can use to pay down or reduce your overall deficit, your overall debt credit footprint, well, that's not really money making. You're paying off debt. Hopefully, the Supreme Court rules soon on the tariffs. It's going to be very important. I think that's a big part of why they're trying to talk about go ahead and giving this $2,000 deduction to people because it will be much harder to pull back. So the Supreme Court, maybe this will help speed up their decision-making process. Like, oh, we need to make that decision quick. Otherwise, Trump's going to do something crazy, and then we're going to have a really hard time. But I still think ultimately the big hang-up I was having, based off the arguments I was hearing, was the idea of Trump making money and supposedly only Congress was allowed to really tax, and that's the making money concept. But if you kind of couch that making money properly, he's not really making money. It's not like we're gaining money. Right? Making money seems like I'm putting money in the bank to me. But if I'm making money and then immediately handing it to somebody else, I'm not really making money, am I? I'm kind of just passing through or passing off, or in some cases trying to help my American constituents or citizens. So it's an interesting point. All said, you guys saw the gold and silver prices. They're up today, and that's what we've been talking about. There's way more craziness coming. We're not to the hard part yet. Real close. What that is, don't know. Days, weeks at best. Get out of their system. The timing of this is going to be perfect because this deal, November, look, here's the thing. If you got a 401k or an IRA and you've got any set of money in there, anything over $10,000, let's put it that way. Anything over $10,000 in an IRA or a, oh my gosh, already drawn a blank on the first one. But right, if you're in a retirement plan, unlike a pension, right? 401k or an IRA, there we go. If you are in one of those two and you want to protect your wealth, you want to protect your buying power, the easiest way to look at it is, look, how much money do you have in there? You got $250,000 in there? Well, that's like the price of a house maybe where you live. Or maybe you got $500,000 and that's the price of a house. I'm using crazy numbers because some of you might only have $10,000. Extrapolate it down. That's a payment, a down payment on a car if you got $10,000. You can save that buying power. But if you've got enough, $500,000, for example, and you can buy a house with that right now in your location, that's what moving it to precious metals is going to do. It's going to protect the buying power, which means you're going to get enough gold and silver, and things are going to continue to work the way they are as we go through this crazy cycle, that you will, at the end of this, will still be able to afford a house with your precious metals. And we're going to go to a precious metals backed currency. It's almost a guarantee. That's what's supposed to happen. We all know this. This whole world's changing. You're already going to have the precious metals. So if you have a precious metals backed currency and you've already sitting on precious metals, it's a direct conversion. It's simple at that point. You're like, here's my gold. They'll be like, well, here's your treasury notes. You'll be like, cool, thanks. Or you just literally tell people I've got this much gold and I want to buy a house with it. And they'll be like, all right, we can do that. It exactly correlates with the dollars. So we know exactly what that's worth. And we have a system set up to handle that. Both ways are fine. You're protecting your buying power. That's what precious metals do. They protect you. You don't ever want to get into precious metals when the economy's going great, when everything's wonderful. Like when we go to the new currency, you're going to want to get out of precious metals. Or buy things with them, really, is what you want to do. You want to acquire things with them. That's really the thing you want to do. And you'll be set to do that. You'll be holding that buying power. Whether it's enough to do a down payment on a car, you'll be able to do a down payment on a car. Whether it's enough just to get a fully handmade, tailored suit, then you'll be able to get a fully handmade, tailored suit or a house or whatever it is. What's awesome is this month, any sales that close this month, you're going to get a few things. You're going to get the standard awesome, tax-free, penalty-free, move the money sideways. You're going to get as much of that money into precious metals as possible. If they send it to you, that's the same thing as cashing out. So they've got to move it sideways into a trust. It's physical metals. It's got your name on it. It's your physical metals. You can literally ask them at some point, hey, send me my metals. And they'll be like, here they are. That's how it works. But tax-free, penalty-free, that goes sideways and it sits in a trust. And again, you can pay back from that. You can cash it out and pay it. You can just have the metals sent to you and you can deal with them yourself. It's up to you. But you can do that tax-free and penalty-free when you go sideways. They'll help you do that. There's a lot of steps. It's not easy. These guys are rock stars, and they're the best customer service out there. Second off, they're going to offer up to 10% free silver to you. I think that silver comes straight to you, like they mail that to you. And on top of that, I'm offering you 1% silver as well. Anything over $10,000, I'm giving you 1% free silver to you. And that comes out of what I would get. You're getting that. We made a sweet deal. We managed to make this work, and it's worth it. I want to give back. I want to help you guys, and we're going to do that for you. So the sale's got to close this month. Sales take about 5 to 6 days if you got all your ducks in a row. 5 to 6 days to close a sale. You got to close it by the end of November. Shizzle's getting strange. You don't want to wait. Go to drslikesgold.com. 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 Get that 1% while you can. Close out this month. Plus 10%, up to anyways. 10% this month. Close it out. Also, you're going to get a free little Ronald Reagan coin. It's pretty cool. It's half ounce. It's 0.999% pure silver. It's pretty freaking cool. Ronald Reagan on the front. You're going to love it. Go to drslikesgold.com. drslikesgold.com. Protect your wealth. Get out of their system while you can. And they're going to definitely screw with you guys. You guys know that. All right, we got some more goodies coming up. BBC executive, he steps down after falsifying the Trump speech. We've actually got this just to play it for you guys, and YouTube's probably going to get pissed at me. Sorry, guys, because they don't like this kind of stuff. This stuff, generally, they don't like because it makes Trump look good. But Trump is suing these guys, too. We're going to talk about that in a second. But here is the BBC edits over here, and this is the original clip over here. You will see the difference, and it will piss you off.
We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and I'll be there with you. And we fight. We fight like hell. And if you don't fight like hell, you're not going to have a country anymore. We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and we're going to cheer on our brave senators and congressmen and women. And we fight. We fight like hell. And if you don't fight like hell, you're not going to have a country anymore.
Yeah, not even close to right next to each other the way they cut it. I mean, that is so beyond deceptive. 54 minutes later. 54 minutes later. So BBC's top bosses stepped down for good reason. I don't know why I opened this twice, but Trump is planning on suing them in the meantime. executives. Their BBC Director General Tim Davie and News CEO Deborah Turness both stepped down. They acted like, oh, well, it's not because of this per se, but obviously we've got to take responsibility. So, like, it was kind of a weird little backhanded sort of nonsense. But Trump is planning on suing them for defamation. $1 billion. Here you go, Europe, England, whatever. You guys have been suing all of our American companies. Well, here goes. Guess what? Two can play that game. You can't sue us. Yeah, you can. And what you did was blatantly deceptive. Unquestionably. Unquestionably deceptive. That's illegal internationally. Internationally. China's probably one of the few countries, maybe North Korea also, maybe Iran, that can get away with that kind of shit. Nobody else. Pretty interesting post here. President Trump will be left with no alternative but to enforce his legal and equitable rights, all of which are expressly reserved and are not waived, including by filing legal action for no less than $1 billion in damages. The BBC is on notice. Essentially, they're saying you better retract that or else. Trump pardons Giuliani and 76 other people, all the people accused with election tampering, messing with elections, the extra electors, all that kind of crap, all that stuff. All those people have been pardoned. Many of them did not have federal charges against them, by the way. Many of them did not. So, in fact, most of them, if not all, did not. But this keeps anything from happening in the future for sure, no matter what happens. But we'll see. He didn't auto pen him, so we know that's cool. But yeah, he hooked up. Now, a lot of people are talking Tina Peters. Trump, you've got to get in there. Even Marjorie Taylor Greene, which again, great, good on you for talking about Tina Peters and the fact that we're making some progress. But Trump can't get her out of jail, Marjorie. That's not how that works. Tina Peters is being screwed over by Colorado State. Trump doesn't have jurisdiction to like bust down the jail cell door and take her out. They are trying to transfer her, from what we understand. Colorado's definitely going to fight that. We'll see what happens, but yeah. So he pardoned a whole crap ton of people. Facing possibly 30 years in jail, New York Attorney General Letitia James seeks dismissal of mortgage fraud charges. I would be honest, for what she did, to get 30 years in jail would be pretty fucked up. That would be way, way, way too much. In all honesty, I don't think she should serve time. I know a lot of you guys want her to, and I'm mad at her too, don't get me wrong, but I think screwing around with whether it's a first or a second residence when you're renting it out or not renting it out or not living there and whatever. Like, you shouldn't go to jail for that. That's kind of stupid. You should pay a fine for sure, definitely, and any sort of penalties. And yeah, I mean, you should get butt raped financially. And, I mean, I don't know, maybe spend 30 days in jail or something, but fucking 30 years? Are you shitting me? Come on. It's not like she did what Trump did. I'm kidding, of course, but you know what they accused her of Trump of. I mean, the amount of money was insane. It's only worth 18 billion or 18 million. It's like, what? In fact, someone just showed a huge property that was selling out there, and it was selling for 300 million or some crazy amount of money. Like, insane amount of money. And it was nowhere near the level that Mar-a-Lago is. Like, nowhere near, but it was close to it. It was a comparable. And so, again, it's a bunch of stupid nonsense. These people that just hate Trump. We got an investigation going into J.P. Morgan in regards to the way they debanked Truth Social and I think even aspects of Trump in general. But Jamie Dimon at Chase, is it? Yeah, I think it's Chase. J.P. Morgan, sorry. Yeah, J.P. Morgan Chase, whatever. But yeah, they're digging into this, and there's lawsuits going. And good, frankly.
Today, we've sent a letter and launched an investigation into J.P. Morgan Chase Bank after alarming revelations about their coordinated efforts with Jack Smith and the Department of Justice as part of the Biden administration's Operation Arctic Frost, where we now know Biden officials went after their political enemies. It's come to our attention that J.P. Morgan debanked Trump Media Group, a Florida-based company, right before the business went public. This is a crucial time for any company, a time where you cannot afford to lose your bank. In addition, we're aware that J.P. Morgan Bank solicited tons of information from Trump Media, unrelated to their business practices, and we believe provided sensitive banking information to the Department of Justice without real probable cause. This is wrong. We will not tolerate it, and we will hold them accountable. Here in Florida, we've passed legislation to protect our consumers from wrongful debanking, and we will stand by our consumers. Thank you.
Well, what's up with this dude's eyes? Is that, I feel bad. I'm not trying to be a dick, but what are these, like, tear calluses? What do you got, like, acid tears that come out? Poor guy. I don't know what's going on. Don't know what's going on with that poor guy. He's got tears that are acid. Acidic tears. DHS weighs private bounty hunters to locate illegal immigrants. Interesting idea. DHS ICE has an immediate need for skip tracing and process serving services using government-furnished case data with identifiable information, commercial data verification, and physical observation services to verify alien address information, investigate alternative alien address information, confirm the new location of aliens, and deliver materials and documents to aliens as appropriate. Any of you guys have any skills in that matter, be reaching out to DHS. Seriously, they need people like you. This would be an awesome job, and all you're trying to do is just basically track down verifiable information. It's not like you're the guy that's going to be kicking down the door. They'll do that for you. You're just providing them information to help in that whole process. So if any of you guys are good at that kind of stuff, any of that forensics nonsense, you trackers, you know, you guys know who you are, especially you ex-military people. There's a bunch of you dudes that are older. I need more money. Well, you got some background that might help out. You able to drive a car? You probably can do something. You probably do something that's kind of fun and help the country at the same time. Think about it. DHS, reach out to them if you guys are interested. Biden appointee judge delays Democrat assault trial indefinitely. This is U.S. District Judge Jamel Semper has indefinitely postponed Rep. LaMonica McIver's assault trial and may dismiss the case entirely. McIver was indicted for allegedly attacking law enforcement officers. You guys remember this. The fact that they're actually thinking about dropping this is kind of a trip, and that's a district judge that's willing to do it. Anyway, I don't know if they can appeal that or how this works. I'm sure they can, but this is craziness. Check this out.
Has indefinitely delayed New Jersey Congresswoman LaMonica McIver's assault trial and is now debating tossing the charges entirely. A grand jury indicted McIver in June for her alleged role in a clash with law enforcement outside of an ICE detention facility in Newark back in May. The Congresswoman was charged with 3 counts of forcibly impeding and interfering with federal law enforcement officers. She has since pleaded not guilty. No new court date has been set.
Quite the looker, too, let me tell you. Wow. Anyway, side salad. It's not even worth going into. Sorry. Supreme Court rejects bid to overturn same-sex marriage ruling. They were trying to rehash this case. And this was one that was just overruled back in 2015. And this was the one where they basically decided that it's not a national right to get married as a gay couple. They're leaving it to the states, which, thank God, you know, especially finally overturning Roe v. Wade a few years after this. But this was certainly a good step in that direction, and parts of that court are still prevalent and relevant today. So nonetheless, they're trying to rehash that same case. I think this was the one for the cake. Former Kentucky County Clerk directly asked the justice to overrule. Should fix this mistake. And this is I think this is the one for the cake. Like, she should make the cake for the gay wedding. And she's like, I don't want to do that. And they didn't. And so, yeah, her religious objections, issuing marriage license to same-sex. Okay. Yeah, after she raised religious objections to issuing marriage license to same-sex couple. Huh, interesting. I actually thought this was the cake one, but that's, okay, sure. That's to me, it's a slightly harder argument to make if you work at a particular place that's supposed to do a particular thing, and all of a sudden you're like, my religious implications don't allow me to do this. And be like, well, religious implications mean you can't have a job here because I need you to do this. So yeah, it's interesting. Needless to say. I don't think that should have been nationalized, that's for sure. The Olympic Committee, they're planning on banning men from women's sports. This is a huge deal.
National Olympic Committee reportedly planning to ban transgender women from all female Olympic events. Tell me more, Ash.
Well, the change reportedly set to be officially announced early next year. The New York Times citing sources who say the decision to overhaul the current policy was made after the sporting committee carried out a science-based review of a biologically born male's physical advantages. Now, under the current guidance, trans women have been able to compete in the female category with reduced testosterone levels. But the decision has ultimately been left up to individual sports. Now, the new blanket rule comes after the IOC's new chief, Kirsty Coventry, a former Olympic swimmer from Zimbabwe, has vowed to protect the female sporting category. The next Summer Olympics, by the way, will be held in LA in 2028. And there you have it.
There you have it, folks. Yeah, that's boy, that's someone you don't want to see screaming above you, angry. Michigan election chief proposes voter roll rules making fraud easier. Literally, they're people that have stopped voting or moved. They literally want to change the rules. I think it's 5 years currently. So you haven't voted for 5 elections, then they can remove you from the voter registry. They want to extend it to 20 years. You're not gone until you've been gone for 20 years and not voted in one of our elections. And by the way, if you do continue to vote while you're in another state, well, I guess that doesn't matter. So now you're voting in 2 states. That's illegal. So Michigan is trying to essentially make it far easier to cheat. And again, this just brings up the question. And I don't know what I don't think left can make an argument on this, but this is one of those ridiculous things they want to do. It's like how long does someone have to be gone or dead before we can remove them from the rolls? And then question is, if they haven't voted in 3, 4, 5 elections, okay, what's wrong with kicking them out of the registration thing and then mailing something to that address you got and saying, hey, you got to re-register if you want to vote again. Otherwise, don't. Send this card back. Just check in this little yes box that I want to be registered, and we'll re-register you. I mean, there's a lot of things they could do, but they don't. They're like, no, leave them there for 20 years. All right, why do you want extra people on the rolls that are definitely not there? I mean, if they haven't voted in 5 years, they haven't voted in 10 years, 15 years. Like, really? I got it all the way to 20. Silly Willy. So anyways, we'll see. I'm sure that'll be sued. I doubt that's legal. It certainly would go against what's been done typically in the past. Apparently, Christine Pelosi is going to be running for state senate here in California. I'm not going to play her stupid video, but she's part of the families. There's 4 families that run California. She's part of that family group, and she looks fucking as ugly. She's uglier than her mom. She looks like her mom now. Yuck. And I'm trying to be mean. I'm hoping I'm pulling it off. Let me find that picture when it pops back up. I'm going to pause this ass. What is... Oh, my eyes are blind. Ow, it hurts. It hurts. Oh, shit. The fuck. Ouch. Ow, fuck. Look the other way. I'm going to have to do the rest of the show this way, guys. Oh, my God. I looked right at her. I fucking looked right at her. Birds. How can I change it? Control F5. Save me. It's not helping. Okay. Ugh, gross. Stopped right on her.
Attorney.
There we go. As a baby, she looked okay with a mohawk. I don't know why she has a mohawk. It burns. Oh my God, it burns. Fucking A. Anyway, enough kidding around. She's a pile of trash. It's part of the family. Pelosi's, the Newsoms, all these fuckers. Really it comes to the Moonbeam. What was his, Wilson? Was that it? Whatever his name is. Anyway, there's like 4 families literally that run this state. And that's changing. Painfully slow, but it's changing. We're taking this country back. We're taking this state back. We're taking everything back. GOP is preparing legal challenge to redistrict efforts that could cut GOP's sole Maryland House seat. Their legal challenge. Maryland's trying to cut the 1 Republican seat they got. Redistricting stuff's stupid as fuck, but it's continuing on, whatever the case is. Governor Abbott of Texas is declaring war on Texas property taxes, border chaos, and woke left in a fiery 2026 re-election campaign. He's running for his 4th term. I know a lot of people don't like him and think he's kind of crap. I mean, frankly, I'm going to be honest, as far as governors go, him and DeSantis. Who else you got? Give me one other example. I can't give any examples. There's some other people that are decent, but they've not gone to the lengths these guys have got. I mean, Ken Paxton under Abbott has done more to fuck with Biden than anybody else. So whatever the case is, he's running again. He Texas people. I got a few people in my audience that are content creators. S. Jones, and of course, S. Jones. Who else? I think just you that I know is content creating. And you're from Texas. This is going to be your fight, not mine. But yeah, S. Jones 39. Check her out. She's going to be fighting this Texas fight. That's her problem. She's in Houston, too, so she got to deal with all that local crap, too. Ongoing, New York City Mayor Eric Adams is going to allow fired COVID workers to get their jobs back. Pretty cool. The ones that got fired during COVID. 2,900 city workers. He's going to offer them up jobs. Mamdani takes possession of New York on January 1st. So Adams has a little time to, well, hopefully put some stuff in place. It's kind of what Biden tried to do, but we'll see what happens. So Zohran Mamdani named 74-year-old longtime budget guru, ex-Bill de Blasio honcho, as his top deputy. This dude. I just love the fact that this young Muslim guy that's so part of the progressive hires literally, like, isn't this the dude from The Simpsons that owns the nuclear power plant? Isn't that him? I feel like it's baked off of this dude. Seems like it. Whatever the case is. This guy's, yeah, I mean, his hair doesn't even like him, right? Like, I mean, it's like jumped off his scalp. They're like, fuck, no, you know, and it just gave up. So, New York. It's such a bummer. U.S. is going to demand pathogen data in exchange for foreign health aid. Interesting. Like, prove it that you guys are sick. Give us your pathogens, find out what's going on, and then we'll send some help maybe. Donald Trump is like talking about, hey, we'll spend some more money. This is part of the USAID money that has been taken away from a lot of people. And he's basically like, all right, prove it. Put your money where your mouth is, and we'll go ahead and we'll step up to the plate if it's called for. If you don't have proof, if you're just trying to get money, you can ride the pine, my friend. You can step on it. You can sit and spin. I don't know. Call it what you want. Sit on it, Potsy. The Wellness Company. They're awesome. The Wellness Company. twc.health/OTF. I don't know if you guys noticed they got a Black Friday sale going on. They're doing it all month to get ahead of the Black Friday stuff. All right? $10 off all orders over $150. Easy peasy, especially when you get the good stuff. Now, I'm going to be honest, guys. The one mistake I've made in my life recently is this right here. This one right here, the Contagion Kit. I didn't have to do it that way. Let's just click on the Contagion Kit. It's easier. This would have probably made it much better for me with this particular thing I'm going through. The HCQ as well as the Parasite Cleanse, both huge, awesome. And the HCQ is kind of from a separate thing, but it's part of this kit. You don't get mebendazole in here, but these are great antivirals. And so what it did is it stopped the virus from prolonging or moving forward. That was huge. But what happened with me, in my case, is it got into my lungs and it did create a little bit of an infection. Now, it's not getting worse, so I probably don't need to go to a doctor. I'm going to give it another day or two. I'm taking Mucinex right now, which usually helps break it up for me. Very good. But I've got color. I've got an infection in my lungs, right? So I got some color in there. That's what's making things kind of difficult for me right now is the extra, nasties that are in there. And that's because of the infection. Infections, antivirals don't work on. Infections, you need an antibiotic. Virals and parasites, antivirals, knock them out. Once you've got a bacterial infection, you need an antibiotic. Well, that's where this Contagion Kit would have saved my butt. It's got the azithromycin in it. It's an antibiotic. It's specifically one that's kind of geared towards virus, flu type infections. This is like everything. So you got your ivermectin, your hydroxychloroquine. The second you start feeling the tingle in your throat or any of that nonsense, start taking the ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine. If you end up like me where you're blowing your nose and you're seeing color, or you're coughing out and seeing color, unless you're a heavy smoker, then you got to judge the color. But if you're seeing color in it, that means you have an infection. If it's green, if it's yellow, you have an infection. Right? The greener it is, in fact, the more infection you got. So that's something to keep in mind. You don't want an infection. If you're starting to notice it at all, that's where you'd start kicking in the Z-Pack. This has an antiviral as well. With this one, which one is it? The generic Tamiflu is also antiviral. I've actually never taken that, so I'm not sure how good that is or what that does, or needless to say. Budesonide is another one where there's been a couple times where I've struggled to get like being able to breathe again, just because I needed a good cough. I had to get the shizzle out so I could open up those air sacs, right? So they could actually receive air as opposed to just being globbed onto by some nasty mucus. They've got this Pulmicort. It's 5 vials, and it will actually help expand all your airways, and it makes breathing easier when you're running into this problem. This contagion kit is literally a lifesaver, right? You're going to get a discount on it, by the way, because it's over $150. It's well worth it, though. You're getting some amazing meds. Doctors are prescribing it. You can also get a refill price on it within 2 years, I think it is. And so, the refill price is cheaper. So if something happens in a viral way, if you're one of these people that, it can get you and knock you down, this is the way to go, right? Like, I haven't missed anything yet. I've had to take some serious naps. I actually took NyQuil for my first time last night in a long time. I had probably the best night of sleep I've had. And that was the other thing that got me, is I had been sleeping very poorly lately. I've had a lot of mental noise going on, and I've just not been able to relax my mind, and had some family issues, stuff like just crap, right? So that's made it worse for me. And it was causing me to not sleep well. My sleep was actually crap, and I was, screwed up. So that can happen to any of us, right? You can be doing everything right and then just get run down in the proper way, and they got you. So be careful. Be careful is all I can say. Contagion Kit will save your life. Again, they've got so many good things. Ultimate Spike Detox is big time on sale right now, too, I think. But the whole ivermectin collection, the Parasite Cleanse, I still cannot recommend that more. I don't want to get into some of the disgustingness of what I have recently realized when I went a little harder on it, because I've kind of been experimenting a little. And, there's parasites that are not only dead, they're dead and expelled. It's pretty awesome. So, again, it's a powerful remedy. Parasites are tied to a lot of things. Cancers are one of them, and certainly viruses. It's antiviral, anti-parasite. It is hardcore. Very strong ivermectin, 25 milligrams, plus 250 milligrams of mebendazole. You're doing these two things together. One pill, you get 90 pills for, it seems like a lot of money, but when you break down the dollar per pill, it's actually not. You're getting an amazing, very strongly amazing medication for not very much per pill. And you don't take all of it. It's like 21 days. And then you stop taking it for a few weeks. And then you go back into it. You do it like 3 days or 3 weeks. And then you are off for a couple weeks. And then back on for 3 weeks. And that's really how you're supposed to do it. I've been playing around with it a little differently. And again, I've found some limits. I've found places where I've because it affects my appetite. It's one thing. It didn't before, but it has started to. So I actually have lost weight. That's been one thing. So I'm trying to, there's, again, an experimentation. You should do what the doctors say, not what I say. I've been playing with it, and you can too. Drop is another one for weight control. This one's awesome. It's kind of got everything that helps with your metabolism, helps you drop weight a little quickly, and it helps with your appetite suppressant. It's very powerful as well, and a lot of people are using this and having healthy weight loss. Not crazy fast like Ozempic or some crazy thing like that, but healthy weight loss, where your skin can keep up with you. Because if you lose weight too fast, you look disgusting, and you're going to look disgusting. Trust me. You're going to look in the mirror and you'll be like, oh my God, I look worse than I did when I was fat. Yes. And it will probably be true. Now, eventually your skin will, get back to good. So don't freak out if you're that person. That's where you probably want to use my my Amaze product from Healthy Home. Get your collagen happening, and that'll help with your skin, help you kind of sort of reorganize, if you will. Methylene Blue, if you want to get your mind sharp. TheraBlue is a new pain gel they've got, and they're trying to get people off painkillers. So if you're having pains in certain places, I would highly recommend the TheraBlue. It's a very awesome painkiller that seems to really absorb into the skin nicely, and people are talking a lot of positive stuff about it. Also, a lot of plastic stuff. You guys have noticed, or heard anyways, I assume, that we've got plastics in our blood, we've got plastics in our man junk, right? There's plastics all over the place inside of us, microplastics, they call them. Plastitox is another one of those things that helps target plastics, microplastics, and get them the hell out of your system. So again, they've just got all sorts of great stuff. They've got up like goal, maybe that's easier, anti-aging, see what they got, appetite control, cleanse and detox, sexual health and hormone stuff, which they've got some hormone stuff. They've also got like, the Tadalafil and stuff like that, right? Boner pills, as I like to call them. Heart health, immune support, they got it all. Go to twc.health/OTF. twc.health/OTF. They've even got memberships. One, you get deals on the different products. You actually save money. So if you're going to be coming back month to month and getting stuff, it's a good idea to get the memberships. Two, you have access to the physicians. It's a telemedicine. It's freaking awesome. It is awesome. I've done it with two different doctors. One with the wellness company and one with another physician I have. And it's just been awesome. Telehealth is incredible, right? Not having to go someplace, just be able to talk to them on a Zoom call. Dude, it's a rock star way, right? So go to twc.health/OTF. twc.health/OTF. Yeah, start making those healthy choices. Make sure you've got the healthy things to keep you grooving while everyone else is, getting sick. Now, again, like I said, I kicked the viral part very quickly, and that's why this hasn't gotten worse. But again, now I'm fighting the cold part. So I can hear the throat. My girlfriend was like giving me shit last night. She's like, your voice sounds weird. And I'm like, I know. Fuck. I'm like, and I was like, this is what I sound like, huh? And she started laughing. So I was like, that's pretty close to what the problem is, but that's what's going on. Secretary of State Hegseth, he's confirmed that we did, I guess, 2 more lethal kinetic strikes. Check them out. This is 17, I think. I said 17. Huh. I think it is the 17th one. Boom. Now, there's been a lot of discussion that some of these people are just, like fishermen trying to make money, and I get you. I think ultimately we're taking out their boats. That thing's loaded up with drugs. I think they're trying to actually show us just like all this talk that there's nothing in these boats. Oh, look how hard it is to see. Well, that's very interesting. Yeah, there's, again, if you're working for the drug cartel, whether you kind of have to because the city, like I get there's some complexities to that whole story. I'm sorry. It sucks. I mean, it really does. You're doing a criminal thing. You're helping criminals. I get your family's hungry. It's like the idea, is it okay to steal if you're starving? Many would say, yeah, well, there's better ways to handle it than just stealing, right? Because then how do I know you're actually starving versus just somebody that's maybe not wanting to pay? China tops the U.S. with the world's biggest prison population. They always say, I forget who it was, Nietzsche or one of those people, that's like, you can really judge a society by its jail population, essentially. I'm totally misquoting it, but something to that effect. We have 1.73 million people in prison population. By the way, for 342 million people in our country. China barely has more people in prison at 191.95 million, yet they have, 3 times our population, 2.5 times, whatever the actual number is. Now, again, they kill a lot of people, so their prison numbers would probably be significantly higher, but they're killing them off to, make organs for others and, stuff like that. So, yeah, pretty messed up. Also, as far as incarceration rate per 100,000 people, we're the 4th highest in the world. China's not even close, actually, when you look at it that way. But we're number 4. Let's see, the worst is El Salvador. Cuba's number 2. Rwanda's number 3. And then we are number 4. And that's, again, the number of people in jail per 100,000 people. Not good. The leader of the Syrian president was at the White House. A lot of people are bothered by this. I don't know. He was part of ISIS and yada, yada, but he's running Syria. And Trump is somebody that wants to be friends with everybody, basically. He wants to try to do the right thing for everybody. So, again, a lot of people pissed off that he came. I actually saw some videos of him shooting some hoops here in America with, like, our people. There's, like, some military generals of ours with him, and they were shooting hoops. He actually, the one image they showed, he made his basket, or the one video, right? They only showed him taking one shot. But still, made the shot. It was good, man. Nothing but net, baby. Nothing but net. He just went, he had it. It was his. UK sends military to urgently help Belgium. They're having this mysterious drone incursion, which they are trying to blame on Russia. Big shock to anybody that's not been paying attention or playing the home game along with us. But yeah, England's going to set in some help and try to fight down these drones. They do have some technology, so England is going to bring in some of that technology. They don't really get specific about what it is because they don't really want the bad guys to know. I think a lot of these are probably just bullshit drones from regular people, maybe people that don't particularly like, people that are maybe Russian oriented, but whatever. I think a lot of it's just a lot of that commercial drone crap. This isn't, I don't think, the technology that we're freaking out about on our East Coast, even though a lot of people suspected that we were actually looking for nuclear stuff using drones, which makes a butt ton of sense. Israel opens a new front. War with Hezbollah is back on the table, which Israel definitely wants to keep fighting, and they want it to be okay to keep fighting, and I don't think it's okay to keep fighting, Israel. I think you guys need to chill the fudge down. That's what I think. Whatever the case is, Jared Kushner ended up down there. Now, Kushner's more involved with, he's such a weirdly straight, I hope he's got a sense of humor or something, or knows how to dance, or I don't know. I hope he's got some sort of other skill, like he can karaoke like a friggin' rock star or something, singing like the Bee Gees or some shit. I don't know. Hope so. Whatever the case is, he's down there talking to Netanyahu. They're discussing phase 2 of the Gaza plan, which would be what Kushner's all about, the land development, the Gaza plan, all that stuff. Not necessarily going down there to say, hey, Netanyahu, can you stop blowing shit up? Because it's not really Kushner's role. So we'll see how that's playing out. I'm not sure who's talking to them about chilling it down, but I don't think we're okay with them continuing to piss off everybody. We had a car bomb go off in India's capital, killed and wounded a bunch of people. It's pretty messed up. I don't think we had any official. Oh, we had, let's see. Yeah, 8 people dead and 24 injured. So pretty surprising considering. Some car just drove up to a particular location and just 3 dudes inside the car, just ba-boom. They don't know exactly what's up or whether these people were wearing vests, whether the car itself was charged up. Don't know. Supposedly 3 people in the car. I wonder if all 3 of them knew what was about to happen. How does that even work, man? You're like, I'm about to blow myself up. Click. Like, virgins. And then they show up to the virgin place and it's just a bunch of dudes, right? A bunch of naked guys that are young. You'd have to be, I guess, right? And young guys be like, I wanted women virgins. You didn't specify. That was not written in the scriptures, my good friend. A lot of stuff going on with Russia right now. EU has failed to convince Belgium to seize the frozen Russian funds. Yeah, because that'd be illegal. And then on top of that, Russia's got a whole bunch of European stuff in their country that they're like, dude, we'll take all your shit. Like, don't. It's not worth it. This is not good in this direction. So EU is desperately trying to figure out how to keep funding the war with Ukraine because the United States has stopped and the EU can't afford it. EU is screwed. Russia, they say they're only going to break the nuclear test ban if the United States does it first. Trump said he would. We tested a missile. We launched it to the atoll out there in the Pacific Ocean, way the hell down there. Okay. But whether or not we're doing any nuclear explosion tests, not necessarily going to be doing that. So again, I don't know how they test those weapons to make sure they're in an operating state without testing. I'm sure we've got technology that should be able to tell, but I don't know. I don't know if Trump would see. A lot of people are wondering, was Trump doing this because we really wanted to continue testing, or because he hates nuclear weapons, or was he doing this to make a point? And I think the point is mostly China is the one that continues to do the testing, and Russia and the United States are like, we're not doing it. Why is it okay for you guys? So the United States is like, look, if China doesn't want to get on board to this, then yeah, we'll start testing too. What the hell? And then Russia's like, well, if you do it, then we'll do it. And it's like, all right, then all 3 of us will be doing it again. Again, I don't like nuclear weapons. I don't think they're okay. They actually are, without getting into all the crazy woo, they are significantly worse than we realize. They don't just kill people here in this dimension. Let's put it that way. They literally mess with the fabric of space-time. They fuck with stuff in such a unique way that we don't fully understand because we can only perceive so much reality. It's just, anyway, whatever the case is. Lights go out during a Zelensky interview. It's kind of funny. It's so worth playing. And yeah, this is my girl, Alice Tang. I liked playing her. That sounded bad. I probably meant it that way.
Lights went out while Ukraine's President Zelensky was talking to a journalist during an interview in Kyiv. Take a look.
So we've seen some crazy stuff in the last couple of months.
Russian.
Hello.
Hard times.
Electricity.
Electricity is gone.
Not everything.
Okay, good. Oh my God.
Se вырубается, да?
We're switching to generator right now.
Zelensky said today he wants to order 25 Patriot air defense systems from the United States. He acknowledged that the Patriot systems are expensive and that such a large batch could take years to manufacture. But he said European countries could give their Patriots to Ukraine and await replacements, stressing that they don't want to wait. Combined missile and drone strikes on the power grid have coincided with Ukraine's efforts to hold back a Russian battlefield push. The Russians are striving to capture the eastern stronghold of Pokrovsk. Lights went out while
Russian battlefield push. By the way, sweetheart, I like eyeshadow. That's nice. That's a nice little cute little metallic color around there. And I didn't say it. Oh, filter worked. Ukraine hits back. 2 Russian cities without power and heating after missile and drone strikes. I don't even want to try to say these cities' names. They were just barely across the border, but actually in Russia proper, I believe. But yeah, they shut down some power for these 2 cities. They put the fire out quickly, Russia did. They were able to intercept some of the missiles, so it seems like they've got some protections over there, but obviously not enough. Got new footage showing the capture of Ukrainians in a strategic hub. Russia advances elsewhere. So this is the city she was just talking about, the Pokrovsk. Probably saying that close to wrong, but close to right. Anyway, recent video shows Russians capturing several Ukrainian drone operators who were standing in the eastern part of the city. They basically raised their hands in this particular image. It's like, we're going to blow you up. And they're like, no. So they were captured. This city is basically under Russian control, even though, Ukraine's trying to act like, no, it's not happening. Putin shuffles top general to Security Council. I don't know exactly what's going on, but he's moving stuff around. Whether he's happy, unhappy, don't know. But he is, I think, phasing into a different part of the war. I think the war is almost over, frankly. And maybe this is the guy that's going to put the finishing touches on it. But whatever the case is, former Deputy Defense Minister Andrei Bulyga. Anyway, he had served as a deputy to the Russian Security Council Secretary Sergei Shoigu. Whatever the case is, they're switching some people around. No one got fired. No one fell out of a building. Just moving to different positions. So I don't know if this is like Trump or Putin being upset with this dude, or moving people to where they need people and putting the proper people in place where they've got better experience for where we're at now. Whatever the case is, I say we, like I'm part of this. But yeah, all said. And I think finally, Tesla Cybertruck chief, he quits after more than 8 years in the latest high profile exit, I guess. But yes, I would assume Musk is pushing really hard because he wants that $1 trillion in 10 years. So he's like, all right, so how are you going to make the Cybertruck sell even more? And he's like, nobody wants them right now. What are you shitting me about? So I don't think the Cybertruck sales are going the way they wanted. A lot of people are not speaking positively about the Cybertruck as one could hope. It is not as bulletproof as they claim. In fact, it won't stop a lot. I want to say, it won't even stop a 9mm, if I remember correctly. I've seen a couple different shooting things where they demonstrated it. It'll stop a .22. It'll stop a crossbow. It'll stop, a lot of stuff. But yeah, there's a lot of firearms that will go right the frick through it. And then when they started getting up into some of the bigger, like a 50 cal, dude, the 50 cal shot through the one door and out the other. I just blew through the whole damn car, which they were a little bummed about because now they had to replace 2 doors. But yeah. So yeah, that's probably not going to go as well as Musk wants. But whatever the case is, you got to make money where you got to make money, right? Musk out there offering $5 BJs in the Walmart parking lot. We'll know things are tough, but otherwise that's not happening at this moment. We'll see what continues. Guys, I love you. We've got a lot going on in the world. Things are changing quickly. Be safe, be secure. Make sure you're anchored yourself. Make sure you take care of yourself. Because if you get too far outside of that, trust me, you'll pay the price. So make sure you're as prepared as you can. Again, this is extraordinarily stressful for all of us. and keep trying to help move the ball forward. Keep trying to ripple as much love and positivity and help and change and information as you possibly can. And we will continue to win this war. Where we go one, we go all. It's on the Fringe with Dan RadioStyle.